When you're learning guitar without a teacher, it can be really hard to tell why you're having trouble with certain things, because as guitar players, our technique or how we are playing, how we're holding our hands, how we're sitting, all that stuff can really hold our progress back without us even realizing it. So today we're going to go over 5 of the most common beginner technique mistakes that I see every day as a guitar teacher, and how you can avoid them so that learning and playing guitar is going to be a lot easier and help you progress faster, so that when you play, you can feel like a rock star. A quick note, all of these mistakes are made by people on electric guitar and acoustic guitar. I'm just using an acoustic today to show you. So if you're playing electric guitar, these still apply to you. Mistake number 1. This is the one that I hate seeing the most, so we're just gonna dive right into this one first, and that is putting your palm on the back of your neck like this. This is so terrible. Don't ever do this, okay? This is not good technique, okay? Because what we want to do is, rather than trying to hold things like this with your thumb behind the neck, I've actually got it a little bit higher. Sometimes students will have it, but their palm will be a little bit lower on the neck. So when you look at it from the front, it looks like this, but on the back, it looks like this. That is just like nasty. Don't ever do this, okay? What you don't want to do is have your thumb pointing out this way. The easiest way to get used to where your thumb should be when you are starting out is to do a thumbs up. Okay, if you can do a thumbs up, you can put your thumb in the right place. So here's the rule of thumb. Ha ha ha. I'm a dad. All right, so do a thumbs up, and you're going to place that right behind the 2nd fret on your guitar, right behind the wire, the 2nd fret wire, right? So thumbs up, put your thumb right back there, okay? Now, I know some people are purists about you have to have your thumb dead center in the middle of the neck like this, or you can't hook it over the top. There's going to be times for you to do both of those. I don't care which one you need to do right now that's easier for you, but give yourself the thumbs up, put your thumb right there, and pretend that you just glued it. So, mistake number 1 to avoid is gripping the neck with the palm of your hand and shooting your thumb out to the side towards the headstock of the guitar. Don't do that. Instead, do a thumbs up, put it behind the 2nd fret of the guitar, and then from there, that's going to help you avoid mistake number 2. Now, mistake number 2 is touching the bottom of your fretboard or neck right here, okay? Now, when you are first starting out playing, touching this is not going to allow you to get your hand in the right position. So once you have your thumb and it's set behind your 2nd fret, what you need to do is let your hand drop down. See how I'm letting my hand hang? And then from there, when you bring your fingers around, you don't want to be touching this part of the neck, okay? If you're touching that part of the neck, it's going to make it harder for your fingers to curl around and use your fingertips, because that's what we want to be doing when you're starting out, is using your fingertips to get used to it. Now, there's a lot of times when you get a little bit more advanced that you're not going to, exclusively use your fingertips all the time. I mean, there's a lot of time that you're playing. Right there, my fingers were actually laid pretty flat compared to what I would have a beginner do when they're just starting out playing and we're playing stuff down here, right? So there are times where you're going to be doing different things, and that's okay, is knowing when you can do those things. But starting out, using your fingertips is going to help you out a lot. And so not touching right here, in allowing your hand to drop down, you can make a bigger curl with your fingers like this. If you're gripping it like this, and you've got your palm and you're touching the whole bottom of the neck right there, your fingers really have to curl up like this. And that's not good. One, that feels a little bit painful right here. And if you do that a lot, you're going to end up hurting your nerves and causing carpal tunnel syndrome. But otherwise, you'd be like curling them like this instead of like this. And so you want to make sure that your hand drops down, that you're not touching the bottom of the neck here, and that is going to help you with mistake number 3. Mistake number 3 is not using your fingertips. It's playing with your fingers pretty flat and using the pads of your fingers, this part of your fingertip, right? instead of using the tip of your finger, okay? Now, when you are starting out, you need to start with using your fingertips for a couple of reasons. One, it's going to help keep you from touching other strings that you don't want to touch. That's good because when you get to the point of doing chords, you want each string to ring out individually and sound nice and clean and clear. But if your fingers are laid flat like this, you're gonna get that instead of this. So getting used to using your fingertips, whether it's for chords, whether it's for melodies, whether it's for riffs, right? It's gonna make your life easier at first. Later, your fingers are gonna start to relax and lay back a little bit more, but start out with that so that you can learn how to avoid touching other strings. Reason number 2 why you want to use your fingertips is it helps build the calluses on the tips of your fingers, which will make it easier for you to play. Now, at the end of the video, I will link to a video about how to develop your calluses using only a 2-minute workout each day. And if you do that, it'll help you out for a few weeks. So stay tuned to the end to check out that video. Now, as far as these top 5 mistakes that people make with their technique when they're starting out, those 3 all have to do with your fretting hand, right? So mistake number 1 is playing with your palm, gripping the neck of the guitar like this, which causes mistake number 2, touching the bottom of the neck here. Instead of, you want to do a thumbs up, let your hand drop down, and then curl your fingers to use your fingertips, okay? If you're doing that, it's gonna make it a whole lot easier for you instead of touching here and using your palm on the back of the neck like this, okay? Don't do that, okay? That'll help you avoid 3 really common mistakes. Now, the other 2 mistakes that we're gonna talk about are with your picking hand. And so mistake number 1, or with your picking hand, or mistake number 4 in total, is actually not using your first finger and your thumb with your pick, okay? A lot of times I will see people come in and they will grab the pick with their first finger and their second finger and their thumb like this, okay? Don't do this, okay? What you want to do is you want to grip the pick with kind of the side of your first finger and your thumb like this. Like if you take your first finger and you put your thumb on top of the side of it, that's where you hold your pick. It's just like that. So if you have your finger sideways and you set your pick down on it, you place your thumb on top of it, that's how you hold your pick, okay? That will make your life easier. With that, there's a lot of different ways that people hold picks. As you watch other guitar players, you're gonna see different things. So you don't have to get like super picky about it. That was unintentional. Okay, that was a completely unintentional pun. But that is going to set you up for success with your picking down the road, okay? So just make sure that you're using your first finger and your thumb, not your first finger, second finger and thumb, and definitely not your second finger and your thumb, okay? The only time that you would really do that is if you're doing tapping and you're picking with this and using your first finger to tap, okay? So when you're doing regular playing, first finger, thumb, that's all that you need. Make sense? And the second mistake that people make when it comes to their picking hand when they're starting out is instead of their hand coming down and resting by the bridge of the guitar, whether it's electric or acoustic, I know I'm doing this on acoustic, but what you want to do is let your hand rest this way, and you want your wrist to face the face of your guitar, okay? You don't want to do this. You don't want to bring your hand out in front of the guitar and kink your wrist like this to do your picking, okay? If you're doing this, this is a common thing that I see a lot of people do all the time, where they bring their hand out front and then bend their wrist back to get their hand towards the guitar. Instead, you want most people have to move their arm down the guitar like this and put your elbow on it. You want your wrist and your palm to kind of be facing the guitar so that your pick is kind of coming out from the side of your hand, okay? Now, if you're doing that, strumming is going to be easy, picking is going to be easy. Playing lead stuff is going to be easy. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to bring your hand out in front of the guitar and bend your wrist back to the guitar like this, okay? This will make you look like a total noob and not look like you know what you're doing when you're playing. So to fix that, bring your hand back, let your wrist and your palm face the top of your guitar, okay? Meaning the body right here, okay? The face of your guitar. So what you could do is you could just plant your wrist down for a minute to get used to it and then let it relax off of the guitar, and that's going to put you in the correct position. So let's review all 5 of these mistakes really quick and how to fix them. Number 1, gripping your neck with your palm and your thumb pointed out towards the headstock. Don't do that, okay? Instead, do a thumbs up, put your thumb behind the 2nd fret, and then let your hand drop down and curl your fingers. That will help you avoid mistake number 2 of touching the bottom of your neck, okay? And mistake number 3 of not using your fingertips. That'll make it a lot easier to play with your fingertips, because instead of having to bend your fingers like this to get up on your fingertips, you're gonna bend them like this. And it's going to be way more comfortable for you, okay? So that's mistake number 1, 2, and 3. And mistake number 4 is hold your pick with your first finger and your thumb. Not with your first and second finger, not with your second finger, just your first finger and your thumb. That is it, okay? And mistake number 5 is bringing your hand out in front to do your picking and strumming like this. Don't do this. You want to bring your arm back. You want your wrist to be relaxed and to have your wrist in your palm facing the top of your guitar so that you're strumming more from the side like this, okay? That's going to make your life a whole lot easier. So if you fix these 5 technique things, learning the guitar is going to be a lot easier because you are going to get out of your own way when it comes to playing guitar. So don't let your technique hold you back. Now you're going to have to evaluate your own playing if you don't have an in-person guitar teacher to do this for you and go, hey, I need to make sure, I'm doing that thing that Brad just talked about. I need to make sure that I fix my thumb. Now, one thing I didn't mention with your thumb, when your thumb is in thumbs up position and you bring your fingers around like this, as you move up the fretboard and down the fretboard, your thumb moves with your hand and it pretty much stays behind your second finger, okay? So that's kind of another rule of thumb. I'm full of them today, guys. So keep your thumb behind your second finger as you go up and down the fretboard, and that'll make it nice and easy for you, okay? So go fix those technique mistakes. Get out of your own way with learning guitar and make it easier for yourself. If you found this helpful, I have something else for you too. Go to my website at simpleguitar.com/top10, and there I have a guide for you. It's 17 pages called The Top 10 Things to Learn on Guitar First, and it's 10 things that will get you a lot of bang for your buck when it comes to learning guitar. Like, a lot of people will start out learning guitar with open chords. I don't like to do that. I like to have you actually start with things that are easier first and that can help you play real music right away. So go check out that guide. Have fun with it. It's totally free. Just go to simpleguitar.com/top10. Have fun fixing your technique, and I will catch you guys in this next video about how to build your calluses in only 2 minutes a day.